What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. Today's video, we are going to discuss why drag and drive is better than regular drag racing. I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why I think it is better. This is opinion based, and you are more than welcome to jump in the comment section, keyboard warrior that thing, and let me know if you agree or why you don't. So let's jump on into it. And we will start. I got my list on my phone over here so I don't forget while I continue to ramble. So number 5, we're going to count it down all the way to 1. So the number 5 reason I think the drag and drive is better than regular drag racing is the traveling and the sights. So yes, technically when you drag race, you might go out of state or go somewhere else. You might even go to pretty tracks. You know, you might take the car somewhere and there's a specific race, wherever it may be, right? Well, you don't drive your car around. You're not in your race car driving through the mountains or driving through the plains or driving through Northern California or Montana or wherever it may be. Florida for sick week, all those sorts of things. So the other thing they do too is typically they take back roads. We go down back roads and off-beaten paths. It's not a lot of freeway driving. And when you're loaded up with your big fancy stacker and all your stuff, you're not going to go off-roading somewhere where there's no gas stations or fill stations or through middle America, small town, one stoplight places. You're just not. You're going to go to the race, you're going to camp there, you're going to go home. That's boring. So get a drag and drive car, take your race car, go down some back roads, and enjoy life a little bit more. All right, number 4, that kind of leads in with number 5, is you have a street legal car. You know, there's fancy drag race cars that are all stripped out. They don't have radiators. They use golf carts to push them around. They can't even make it back from the end of a quarter-mile pass. They have to have a tow vehicle. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. And that's all fine and dandy. I get it. They're fast. It's a purpose-built vehicle. But having a street legal car is really nice because maybe I don't want to race. Maybe I got to go get groceries. Maybe my daily is down and it died and I got to drive the drag and drive car around. Maybe I just enjoyed that much. I want to go get an In-N-Out burger. Well, I could take, once again, my drag and drive car because it's street legal. It has a radiator. It cools itself off. It does all the things a normal car should do. So there you go. That's number 4. Number 3. This one's kind of fun. I came up with this from watching and experiencing these events. And number 3 is it makes slow cars more fun. I'm going to throw it out there. The majority of these events, let's say Rocky Mountain Race Week, which is the one I'm familiar with, they have roughly 300 entries. So out of the 300 cars, a large percentage of those cars, or even sick week like the ones I watch, hell, I think even like drag week, the majority of the cars are going to be in like the 12 to 14.0, maybe 11 at this point, 11 to 14.0, like index class. And that is the meat and potatoes of every drag and drive event, with the majority of the participants bringing a car kind of in that realm. Well, why is that more fun than a fast car, you're probably asking yourself. Isn't it drag racing? Aren't you supposed to go fast, to be the fastest and the baddest on the planet, and, you know, beat your chest and you're awesome? Well, you're not. You're supposed to be doing this because you enjoy it. I know there's some of you guys that don't. I know there's plenty of fast guys. I've heard, I don't know how many fast guys complain about being at the track and their fast car isn't fast enough. Well, sounds like they're not having fun to me. You go to a drag and drive event, the guys in the 12-second, 13-second cars, air conditioning, big luxurious couch sofa seats in it. They're hanging out with 300 of the coolest people on the planet that have similar interests. They're enjoying it. They probably have air conditioning. They go make a couple rips at the track. They go out to dinner with their friends. There's people that come from all over the world, people you might only see once a year, people you might see once in your lifetime on an event like this. So they really get to enjoy it, and then hopefully, depending on how the car is built and whatnot, it doesn't beat them up too bad, because typically if it's a slower car, it's not so radical, so they can actually enjoy it a bit more, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So I'm going to say that number 3 is slow cars are more fun. All right, getting down to the nitty-gritty. Number 2, this was a toss-up, because number 2 and number 1 is a hardcore opinion of mine, but number 2, which could have been number 1, is the people. That brings me, you know, these all kind of transitions. So you got the slow car and the people enjoying the event. Well, number 2 is the people. The people like Matt and June Frost that put on Rocky Mountain Race Week. They are awesome. I've been to other events where you pay money, you travel out of state. I've actually been to an event that got rained out. It was zip tie drags put on by Freiberger and Finnegan. And I forget what year it was. It's been rained out a few times. But I remember sitting in a motorhome with it raining. The event was basically done and canceled. And it was like halfway during the day. Nobody came around. Nobody checked on us. Nobody did anything because it was like, oh, it rained. Sorry, go home. See you next year, right? Every drag and drive race I've been to at Rocky Mountain Race Week, Matt and June personally cruise around the pits. They ask you if you need anything. They ask you how your drive was. They ask you how you're doing. You see them on the road. They've even invited the racers to their house. It was off of the beaten path when we had some checkpoints that people had issues. I mean, I don't know where else on the planet you find people that are that willing to open their home and all their stuff, and they're throwing this event, but it means a lot more than just making a couple dollars and having an event. So, you know, stuff like that and people like that, I want to be a part of it and support it, and I enjoy it, and I'd like to broaden my horizons and do more drag and drive events, and I hope that some of the promoters see this video and they go, hey, you know, we take care of our people too, or you guys should chime in if you've been to other events. So I would hope that that's how it is, but also beyond the promoters that are cool, everybody that you show up with 300 cars. The first year I went, I wanted to go around and see everybody because I never thought I'd get to go again. I thought it was going to be a bucket list one-time deal. Everybody on YouTube that I watched, on 1320 video and all that, if I recognized a car and a driver from watching it because I was fanboying, I went to go talk to those people on day one because I figured, hey, come day two, I might not have a chance. And I was correct because I did struggle, but everybody was super cool for the most part. There was some disappointments, I'm not going to name it here, but ultimately everybody was super cool. And then when I did struggle and have problems, the people that I met, just putting in a little bit of FaceTime and chatting it up or whatever, they came over to see how I was doing and asked if I needed parts or if I needed help. If you need anything, we'll help you out. And that's fantastic. People I talked to one time were on an event, we're in the trenches together, and there's that kind of camaraderie. And that's from a first timer. You go a handful of times, you start to get to know people, and it's like one big giant family. It really is awesome. And everybody there has something in common because we're all gearheads, car nuts, and the like. And everybody comes together like peanut butter and jelly. And it really doesn't matter what you drive. Everybody has common ground. And then it's fun to nitpick and, you know, go back and forth, Ford versus Chevy or the imports or whatever. That's what makes it fun. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what you drive. If you're in the event, everybody's kind of like a big giant dysfunctional family at that point. It's amazing. So this brings me to my number one, and this is my opinion here, but I want to give it and see what you guys think. Drag racing is a very expensive sport. There's no way around it. You can save a buck, you can do things yourself, but I think there's probably other sports, but at least for this sport in general of drag racing, drag and drive to me is an equalizer for a guy like me. If you're a hardcore DIY guy, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just a regular DIY guy, but you want to try and learn and grow, or maybe you can do a little bit, or maybe you can build a complete car. It equalizes the playing field between the haves and have-nots a bit. Granted, we're all haves. If you're in the drag racing sport, let's be honest, nobody is super in poverty that has a drag race car, and we're all fortunate and blessed to be able to do the sport that we love. But once you get there, there's obviously different tiers. Like I said, there's the stacker people that show up with $1 million cars, and there's the regular guys, you know, down that go to the drag and drive events at camp that don't have the hotel rooms, that just have a slow car, that are there to have fun. And there's a broad spectrum of everybody in between. But what I like about it is it takes a guy like me that has a little bit of talent, and then I can compete with guys that have a bit more cash. And the reason I say that is because you have to finish to win. So you could have $1 million pro mod, and that's awesome, but if you and your guy can't get parts or fix your own car, which generally when you get to the pro mod level, you know, they can, but ultimately, you got to finish to win. So if you have exotic parts, you're going to have a hard time getting it. You're going to have to load your trailer with all that junk. Maybe you're not as well versed as, you know, you put this really fast car together and then you venture off and it's just you and your co-pilot. Well, maybe you didn't build the car. Maybe you don't really know all about it, right? Then you get a guy like me. I know my car inside and out, backwards, upside down, and the ladder. So it helps me because I'm the guy that did it. So when it does break, I sit on the side of the road and I'm the guy, you know, that can be upset at myself. But ultimately, I love the challenge of being able to be hands-on as much as I am, and then to be able to compete on the biggest stage in the world and put my janky little car against some of the best on the planet. Granted, you know, I'm not winning all the events or doing whatever, but I'm at the dance. I have my car, and that's what matters to me. And I bet on the big show twice. We've, you know, started 2 of them, and we finished 2 of them. So I'm very proud of that. We're not knocking out the park. I'm not winning all the events, but for me and for my sense of pride and, you know, being able to put a car together and to take it to the big show and to be able to fix it and overcome adversity and to be like, I did this, me with my own 2 hands, no fancy shop, no anything, you know, build a car in a driveway and take it out there and do it. That's my motivation, and that's what keeps me coming back, because, you know, I don't have the luxury of sending it off to some race car shop and then fitting me my car and then calling, you know, this person and having them put a multi-million-dollar motor together, then you blow it up, and then you gotta, you know, call everybody else so they just get all your stuff so you can be fancy and go out and race. I don't have that luxury. I have to go find things and put stuff together myself. And there's a lot of pride, like I said, in the car, and that's my #1 reason to keep coming back and to keep doing it, because I just feel that it's awesome that a nobody little guy can just get on the big stage and bring some talent and some hard work and dedication and a never say die attitude, and then you're out there with the best of them, and it's amazing. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. We're finally putting some opinion out here on the channel. I know that I always refrain from it, but we're going down the drag and drive wormhole, and I'm gonna a rabbit hole, and I'm gonna keep going because it's what I enjoy doing. So we're gonna evolve this channel into 100% hardcore drag and drive only stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your opinions in the comment section, good or bad or ugly. Let me know. I'm out.